Hi, welcome to the channel. Today is the third day of the 13th chapter, that is how to think like a leader. Let's start. Leadership rule number 3: think progress, believe in progress, push for progress. One of the most complimentary things anyone can say about you is he stands for progress. He is the man for the job. Promotions in all fields go to individuals who believe in and push for progress. Leaders, real leaders, are in short supply. Status quo's, the everything's all right, let's don't upset the apple cart fox. Far outnumber the progressives. There's lots of room for improvement. Let's go to work and do it better, people. Join the leadership elite. Develop a forward look. There are two special things you can do to develop your progressive outlook. Number one, think improvement in everything you do. Number two, think high standards in everything you do. Several months ago, the president of a medium sized company asked me to help him make an important decision. This executive had built the business by himself and had been functioning as a sales manager. Now, with seven salesmen employed, he decided his next step was to promote one of his salesmen to the job of sales manager. He narrowed the choice down to three, all of whom were about equal to experience and sales performance. My assignment was to spend one day in the field with each man and then report my views on which fellow seemed to be best qualified to lead the group. Each man was told that a consultant would visit him to discuss the overall marketing program. For obvious reasons, they were not told the specific purpose of my visit. Two of the men reached pretty much the same way. Both were uncomfortable with me. They seemed to sense that I was there to change things. Each of these men was a real defender of the status quo. Both approved the way everything was being done. I raised questions about how the territories were laid out, the compensation program, the sales promotional material, every phase of the marketing effort. But on all the points, the response was always everything is okay. On specific points, these two men explained why the present way couldn't and shouldn't be changed. Summed up, both men wanted the status quo to remain the status quo. One of them said to me, as he dropped me by my hotel, I don't know exactly why you spent the day with me, but tell Mr. M for me that everything is okay as is. Don't go refiguring anything. The third man was wonderfully different. He was pleased with the company and proud of its growth, but he was not wholly content. He wanted improvements. All day, this third salesman gave me his ideas for getting new business, providing better service to customers, reducing wasted time, revising the compensation plan to give more incentive, all so that he and the company would make more. He had mapped out a new advertising campaign he had been thinking about. What I left him his patting remark was, I sure appreciate the chance to tell someone about some of my ideas. We have got a good outfit, but I believe we can make it better. My recommendation, of course, was for the third man. It was a recommendation which coincided fastly with the feelings of the company president. Believe in expansion, efficiency, new products, new processes, better schools, increased prosperity. Believe in and push for progress, and you will be a leader. As a youngster, I had an opportunity to see how the different thinking of two leaders can make an amazing difference in the performance of followers. I attended a country elementary school, 8 grades, one teacher, and 40 children all jammed together inside four bricks wall. A new teacher was always a big deal, led by the big boys, the seventh and eighth grades. The pupils set out to see how much they could get away with. One year, there was little more than chaos. Every day there were dozens of the usual school pranks, wars of speedballs and paper airplanes. Then there were the major incidents such as locking the teacher outside the school for half a day at the time, or on another occasion, the opposite, barricading her within the building for hours. Another day, each boy in the upper grades brought his dog into the schoolroom. Let me add that these children were not dealing, delinquents. Stealing, physical violence, and deliberate harm were not their objectives. They were healthy kids conditioned by vigorous rural living and needing an outlet for their tremendous pent up energies and ingenuities. Well, the teacher somehow managed to stay with the school until the end of the year of that year. To no one's surprise, there was a new teacher the following September. The new teacher extracted a strikingly different performance from the children. She appealed to their personal pride and sense of respect. She encouraged them to develop judgment. Each child was assigned a specific responsibility like washing blackboards or cleaning erasers or practicing of on paper grading for the younger grades. The new teacher found creative ways to use the energy that had been so misdirected a few months before. Her educational program was centered on building character. Why did the children act like young devils one year and like young angels the next? The difference was the leader, their teacher. In all honesty, we cannot blame the kids for playing pranks an entire school each school year. In each instance, the teacher set the pace. The first teacher, deep down, didn't care whether the children made progress. She set no goals for the children. She didn't encourage them. She couldn't control her temper. She didn't like teaching, so the pupils didn't like learning. But the second teacher had high positive standards. She sincerely liked the children and wanted them to accomplish much. She considered each one as an individual. She obtained discipline easily because in everything she did, she was well disciplined. And in each case, the pupils adjusted their conduct to fit the examples set by the teachers. We find this same form of adjustment taking place every day in adult groups. During World War II, military chiefs continually observed that the highest morale was not found in units where commanders were easy, relaxed, and lackadaisical. Crack units were led by officers with high standards who enforced military regulation fairly and properly. Military personnel simply do not respect and admire officers with low standards. College students to take their cue from the examples set by the professors. Students under one professor cut classes, copy term papers, and connive in various ways to pass without serious study. But the same students under another professor willingly work extra hard to master the subject. In business situations, we again find individuals patterning their thinking after that of the superior. Study a group of employees closely, observe their habits, mannerisms, attitude toward the company, ethics, self control. Then compare what you find with the behavior of their superior, and you discover amazing similarities. Every year, many corporations that have grown sluggish and are headed downward are rebuilt. And how? By changing a handful of executives at the top. Companies and colleges and churches and clubs and unions and all other types of organizations are successfully rebuilt from the top down, not from the bottom up. Change the thinking at the top and you automatically change the thinking at the bottom. Remember this, when you take over leadership of a group, the persons in that group immediately begin to adjust themselves to the standards you set. This is most noticeable during the first few weeks. Their big concern is to glue you in, zero you in Find out what you expect of them. They watch every move you make. They think, how much rope will he give me? How does he want it done? What does it take to please him? What will he say if I do this or that? Once they know, they act accordingly. Check the example you set. Use this old but ever accurate quatrain as a guide. What kind of world would this world be if everyone in it were just like me? To add meaning to this self imposed test, substitute the word company for world. So it reads, what kind of company would this company be if everyone in it were just like me? In similar fashion, ask yourself, what kind of club, community, school, church would it be if everyone in it acted like you? Think, talk, act, live the way you want your subordinates to think, talk, act, live, and they will. Over a period of time, subordinates tend to become carbon copies of their chief. The simplest way to get high level performance is to be sure the master copy is worth duplicating. Am I a progressive thinker? Checklist. Do I think progressively toward my work? Number one, do I appraise my work with the how can we do it better attitude? Number two, do I praise my company, the people in it, and the products it sells at every possible opportunity? Number three, are my personal standards with reference to the quantity and quality of my output higher now than 3 or 6 months ago? Number four, am I setting an excellent example for my subordinates, associates, and others I work with? B, do I think progressively toward my family? Number one, is my family happier today than it was 3 or 6 months ago? Am I following a plan to improve my family's standard of living? Does my family have an ample variety of stimulating activities outside the home? Number four, do I set an example of a progressive, a supporter of progress for my children? C, do I think progressively toward myself? Number one, can I honestly say I am a more valuable person today than 3 or 6 months ago? Number two, am I following an organized self improvement program to increase my value to others? Number three, do I have forward looking goals for at least 5 years in the future? Number four, am I a booster in every organization or group to which I belong? D, do I think progressively toward my community? Number one, have I done anything in the past 6 months that I honestly feel has improved my community, neighborhood, churches, schools, etc.? Number two, do I boost worthwhile community projects rather than object, criticize, or complain? Number three, have I ever taken the lead in bringing about some worthwhile improvement in my community. Number 4. Do I speak well of my neighbors and fellow citizens? Okay, we will start in the new session, and if you are new on the channel, subscribe the channel and press bell icon so that you will get notifications about the new video upload, and don't forget to like and share. Thank you so much.